I'm making a classic bacon, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll. We're gonna bump it up. We're gonna do a sunny side up egg, so the yolk presents itself to you and it cracks, and that first bite is like a yolk-a-lanch into your mouth. Crispy bacon. We're gonna do a honey giardiniera butter on there. Serve it on a classic Kaiser roll.
For my egg sandwich that I'm making, I am doing sausage with an omelet and brie inside it on a donut. Oh, yeah, right?
All right, I'm gonna start with the bacon, guys. I've seen a lot of bacon being done here, right? You can do it on your stovetop, but at home, in large quantities, it gets messy and cumbersome, so I'm gonna show you what I have dubbed the Mauro method of bacon cookery. The key to this, you need this parchment paper, and when we start laying the bacon like little soldiers up against each other's but not touching, what we do now is cradle this bacon in here, almost mimicking a pan. So when we do it in our oven, which is set at 350, all that fat renders from that bacon and starts frying it in this little kind of vessel here. This stays super flat, super crispy, which is great for that sandwich bite down, which is very important. And it's a much easier cleanup. This is going in the oven just like this. All right, 350 till when? I don't know, keep an eye on it. Set your timer. Could take 10 minutes. It always depends on how fatty, how thick, but look at it after 5 minutes, engage.
I have a whole bunch of breakfast sausages. What I'm gonna do is right out of the gate, I'm going to take them out of the casings because I am going to form this into a patty, and then I'm going to smash them like a smash burger. So I made 2 sausage balls. I'm putting them in between pieces of parchment paper, and I'm taking this little guy and really smashing it into a patty. Ooh, all right. And when my pan is hot, then I'm gonna put my sausage in there and I'm gonna brown it.
So we're gonna butter this, we're gonna griddle it, but then I want some more butter flavor in there, which we're gonna put right at the end. And so we're gonna make a quick flavored butter. I am the king of giardiniera as well as the king of sandwiches. It's a fermented and pickled oil-packed medley of peppers and vegetables. We're gonna let it drain from a fork and put a couple of these in there just to give it another edge to that delicious butter. And then just a little shot of honey to sweeten it up. I'm gonna give it a little salt, right? We season everything because this is unsalted butter.
So look at what we've got going on here. My sausage, nice and brown. So I'm gonna turn the heat way down and I'm gonna drain most of the fat, and I'm gonna make a little mixture of maple syrup and some water. Maple syrup is mostly sugar and that will burn very easily. So by adding a little water, it gives me a little bit of an insurance policy so I won't burn my pretty sausage. Just a little splash in there. We're just gonna get that in there. You know, my maple syrup has gotten really kind of thick. I'm turning my sausage over a couple of times so it's really nice and coated. And then I'm going to take this out of my pan and I'm going to set these guys aside. For this sausage maple residue that's still in there, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna add a pat of butter into this because what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fry my donuts in that. So I am getting my cheese ready. I'm using brie. So I'm getting my brie ready ahead of time because once you start cooking eggs, once they go south, there's no recovery.
Let's talk about the bread. I'm using a Kaiser roll. Look at, I'm using my serrated knife to cut right through it. Now I'm gonna take some of that lovely butter. I'm just gonna do that and put it in the pan. Crust to crust is a must. I'm about to test my heat here because we wanna gently reinvigorate that bread while giving it a beautiful golden brown crust. So this has gotta be medium, guys, okay?
My donuts are not filled donuts, so just like Jeff, I'm using my serrated knife. I'm going to use 2 eggs. So when we beat eggs for scrambled eggs or omelets, the best way to do it is with a fork because you want a homogeneous mixture. You don't want to see any of like the egg white hawkers sort of hanging in there. You want to see it all one color. To facilitate that, eggs at room temperature help. Also adding a little bit of water sort of loosens this guy up, but it doesn't add anything in there that will brown. And what it also does is adds water to our eggs that will help make them fluffier. We're gonna add a pinch of salt, and I'm going to add a little squeeze of olive oil. And when you do it, it's like commit to it. Your fork in and out of the eggs and maybe turn your bowl around, whip air in there, and get this all beaten up at the same time. I'm just getting my pan hot a little bit with a little bit of oil, and then I'm going to put a little bit of this butter in. This is a lot here. So I'm gonna get my bread starting to toast, and then we'll add that in as just a little flavoring at the end.
Look at that. Now that's breakfast bacon right there. Flat, crispy. Right?
All right, so look at, we're getting a nice, So now we're gonna take a little bit of this guy, yeah, and just get that in there at the bottom.
Look at this. Now our bun's done. Now our mise en place for our sandwich is done. So I'm using a very exclusive imported cheese. It is very hard to come by, but luckily we procured some for you from our local distributor, the American cheese. Which
I
to
love
me,
a good
man,
American
oh, I
cheese.
love
I
it.
love
It's got
American
its
cheese.
place. How's this for a sandwich build, right? You think that's enough? No, it's, why? What are we telling ourselves today in the future? Every time we build a sandwich. Crust is a must, so I'm gonna do a little overhang with that. Now I can get my eggs going. I'm gonna do a sunny side up egg. I love sunny side up eggs on my plate, on my sandwich, on my burger. And so I'm gonna crack into a bowl. Once you get to that short order cook status, you can crack them right on the griddle, but until then, it's a lot easier to control. And again, no color is the goal. So you don't want this at too high. Look at that little flame. I mean, it's gentle. And what I'm gonna do right now is start kind of helping that egg white penetrate the bottom of the pan by not in the yolk, just in the white, poking these little holes, almost creating, you know, a little pathway for those whites to cook evenly, because we don't want to overcook the yolk. Once I see it kind of get the setting like that, and close it just for a little bit. It's not going to take much. You can even probably shut off the heat now and let the residual heat finish that egg.
For my omelet nonstick pan, a few drops of olive oil in the bottom there. Now I have my egg mixture, and I'm going to get that right into my pan. I'm stirring it up a little bit, so as I see the eggs start to cook, so you can see where they're cooked and where it's not. And so then I just kind of let it roll around and to kind of fill in the spots where I have moved it from. Now, I'm just about all the way cooked, and so I move it off the heat. Now, this is where what I'm doing gets a little bit fun. I'm taking my fish spatula and I am cutting a slit in it right there. I'm taking my brie, and right next to where I cut that little slit, I put a couple pieces of brie in there. Now this melts and it's gonna get runny, so in this kind of situation, it's better to go with thin slices of cheese and not too much, because look what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna flip it up on each other, and then I'm gonna take a little bit more brie and get it in there, and then we flip it over on top of itself again, and then we flip it all closed. So now I am ready for my dismount. I have my my sausage patty. I'm gonna put that right on there, and look how perfectly it fits right on that bun. All right, on my donut. And then we're gonna take this guy right on top of there. And yeah, she's sexy, right? There we go, and that's it.
All right, real quick. So this has been done, but I've controlled it by taking it off the heat. If you do this right, you just wiggle it, right?
Yeah.
On perfectly. All right then is right. So what I'm gonna do now is take some more of that honey giardiniera butter with the sweetness, with the pickliness, with everything. I'm gonna make sure my egg is seasoned, right? Now I'm looking at this sandwich. We got a lot of bread, right? I didn't see the bread earlier when I made this recipe, so I'm gonna add another little element that I think will be nice. There's a little fresh tomato on there, right? And we got something fresh, spicy, creamy, salty, bacony, eggy, all that stuff. You close it, and then there that is, ready to go.